Good afternoon, viewers. I hope you're fine wherever you are. Welcome to Talk to Africa. My name is George. Today, Junet Mohammed has come up with a statement essentially forming a panel, a selection panel for the running mate of Raila Amolo Odinga. What has necessitated this arrangement? If you're watching this channel for the first time, kindly subscribe to our channel. If you like any one of our videos, we have many videos. I would highly appreciate if you like the same on YouTube.
Asanteni sana kwa kukuja. Hii ni Azimio la Umoja, One Kenya communique regarding panel to vet and make recommendations regarding the party's deputy presidential nominee. At its inaugural meeting held on 21st April 2022 at the Kenyatta International Convention Center, the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Council, at the request of the party's presidential candidate, His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga, resolved to appoint a 7-member team to assist and advise the candidate regarding the nomination of the party's deputy presidential candidate. In view of the foregoing, and in consultation with the Coalition Council, His Excellency, our candidate Raila Amolo Odinga, has appointed the following panel members to assist and advise him regarding the nomination of the party's deputy presidential candidate. Number 1, Bishop Peter Njenga. Number 2, Archbishop Zacchaeus Okoth. 3, Senator Enoch Wambua. 4, Michael Orwa. 5, Dr. Noah Wekesa. 6, Sheikh Mohammed Khalifa. And 7, Mrs. Beatrice Askul Moe. The panel shall reach its decision through consensus and shall elect its chairperson. The panel secretary shall be Mrs. Elizabeth Mayo. In undertaking this solemn task, the panel shall be guided by the following core principles: A. Fidelity to the Constitution of Kenya, with particular emphasis on the qualification for nomination as a deputy presidential candidate. B. Eligible candidate must demonstrate in word and deed that nomination to the high office of Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya is a public trust to be exercised in a manner that 1. Demonstrates respect for the people, brings honor to the nation and dignity to the office, promotes public confidence in the integrity of the office, and demonstrates the value that nomination to the office is a responsibility to serve the people rather than the power to rule them. C. In addition, the eligible candidate must demonstrate in word and deed fidelity to the following guiding principles of leadership and integrity. 1. Personal integrity in public and private life. 2. In previous public service or private affairs, objectivity and impartiality in decision making, and in ensuring that decisions are not influenced by nepotism, favoritism, other improper motives or corrupt practices. 3. Selfless service based solely on the public interest, demonstrated by honesty in the execution of public duties, the declaration of any personal interest that may conflict with public duties, accountability to the public for decisions and actions, and discipline and commitment in service to the people. The panel is required to submit to the candidate names of the suitable candidates for his consideration on or before 10th May 2022.
The selection panel, as actually stated by Junet Mohammed, comprises of 7 members. What is the reason? What actually has necessitated the formation of this selection panel? That is our question today. Now, before we tackle that, of course, there are just 10 reasons why this panel has been formed. But before we tackle that, you realize that Kalonzo Musyoke has been a problem for a very long time in Azimio. In fact, I mentioned that Kalonzo Musyoke, his entry into Azimio, had just brought in a lot of issues, a lot of confusion, and a lot of noise that originally wasn't there in Azimio. Kalonzo Musyoke, I think, is the central problem that the panel will be attempting to cure. As you know, there are several people who have actually showed interest. Even today, just this morning, a group of, women were fronting from where, I can't remember exactly where, but a group of women were fronting for Martha Karua. And a lot has been said about this running mate issue. You know, a lot of people are talking about the running mate coming from Mount Kenya. A lot of people have talked about even the cause. And the issue of the running mate has become so political that it would have been disastrous either way, any way that these presidential candidates go. You see, like if you appoint, like in Kenya Kwanza, William Samoei Ruto is not having it easy either. Although, for some reason, William Samoei Ruto has managed to contain major people in his coalition, that is the Kenya Kwanza coalition. He's contained somebody like Musalia Mudavadi. Musalia Mudavadi just went mute after joining Azimio, after joining Kenya Kwanza, after he actually threatened, just in the same way Kalonzo Musyoke is threatening in Azimio. As a matter of fact, you remember the Senator Wambua of Musalia Mudavadi, Senator Malala, has actually gone missing in action. You see, William Samoei Ruto too has been able to contain the likes of Speaker Muturi in there, Kindiki in there, you know, a lot of people. And I sometimes wonder, and I really credit him with it, I sometimes wonder how William Samoei Ruto has been able to pull this first one in terms of containing people in the issue of the running mate. But now, going back to Azimio, Azimio has had a challenge really, because everybody has been saying everything. And you know, the original arrangement that was there between Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and Raila Amolo Odinga apparently has been tested. But I think Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and Raila Odinga have been firm in their position. But right now, they wanted to do basically wash their hands like Pontius Pilate, you know, and get out of this thing. So by actually selecting a panel where actually in this panel, other than the religious leaders, you have Senator Wambua in the panel, that tells you volumes about the formation of this panel. Actually, I would say that its Wiper had a great part, or rather Kalonzo has a great part in the formation of this panel, because that you have Senator Wambua thrown in there. I think this is some kind of deal between Raila Amolo Odinga, Uhuru Kenyatta, and Kalonzo Musyoke to actually manage a fallout in Azimio. Like I said, there are 10 points, 10 reasons why this panel has basically been constituted. The first reason, up to 10, is to manage a fallout in Azimio. Why do you think that Raila Amolo Odinga had to form a panel to choose his running mate? But before we end the program, I would like us to go to our usual corner. It's called our Side Mbosho Corner. In our Side Mbosho Corner today, I would like to talk about crocodile tears, basically by our politicians. Our politicians are talking a lot about the late Emilio Mwai Kibaki. They are actually shedding crocodile tears and forgetting that all those things that they are talking about essentially are the things that they are supposed to be managing. To cut it briefly, you see, when you talk about corruption, actually when Emilio Mwai Kibaki became president in 2003, corruption just went down drastically. And as soon as Emilio Mwai Kibaki actually left in 2013, corruption actually shot back right past the levels of Moi. You know, yet these politicians are actually talking about Mwai Kibaki, talking about good governance, free primary education, and by the way, talking about free primary education, the other side of their mouths, the same politicians are talking about stopping the CDC method of education. You know, it's a contradiction. These people are just shedding crocodile tears. You see, even issues of land matters have not been resolved. The land office is corrupt. The judiciary is still the judiciary. Police reform was forgotten. Okay, I'll give it to Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta in terms of carrying on with the 4 agenda items. You know, the agenda 4 of Raila Amolo Odinga and Mwai Kibaki was forgotten immediately after people went back, got into power and returned to business as usual. These politicians are just shedding crocodile tears, and they could do a lot to help. Like you see, when you talk about the economy today, which is, we credit, the late Kibaki for having a good economy. When you talk about the economy, you look at the debt. Debt can be helped, can be managed by the current parliament without actually shedding tears on Kibaki's body. You know, these are issues that politicians rather, need to look, and they should stop taking us for a ride. I know during the burial on Saturday, that will be on the 30th in Othaya, you'll hear a lot of things being promised, as the usual things. You know, oh, we'll not leave the family, we'll emulate Kibaki, we'll do this. But action speaks louder than words. Deal with corruption. Deal with the economy. You know, handle the, the issues of education in this country. Deal with those issues, fundamentally poverty, fundamentally that are still there, that have never been able to be addressed. That is our side Mbosho. What do you think the panel that has been constituted by Raila Amolo Odinga is supposed to cure? Thank you very much for tuning in. Welcome to Talk to Africa. My name is George.